various form of institution that can fall into this category have existed since pretty much the late 60s. Even though one of the earliest sovereign wealth fund, which is Temasek Holdings, actually they do not recognize themselves as a sovereign wealth fund. How you would actually go about managing a $1 trillion portfolio? I mean, the answer may not be as obvious as most people think. Right? Having too much money sometimes could be a problem. I just thought this is a particularly interesting topic to say something about, because typically, if you look at literature, you either end up with a lot of times academics who have never managed money professionally, and they like to advise some of the largest institutional investment managers how they're supposed to manage money. Or you have private sector economists who are basically, yes, they're writing about this topic, but they're primarily doing so to promote the services of the employers. Or the third type of authors that are most common are either economists from central banks or multilateral organizations. And sometimes they're writing on this topic is not because they don't have anything else to say, but they were told to write certain what we call pretty clear policy pieces, just primarily to advance their own institutional agendas. Personally, I think this particular book, at least for myself, is on this particular topic, is the start of I would say more general research on how do you model global economy in a way that is actually realistic. I would be interested, not necessarily on sovereign wealth fund itself, but I would be interested in doing more work in terms of trying to understand the global economy and also the financial markets a little bit better, just so that the global economy can go into a sustainable path. And on the side, the other interesting project that I love to be engaged in is just basically to write a sort of a more sort of vigorous investment textbook, which is similar in the theme of this particular piece, that it's not just mathematically vigorous, but at the same time is solving a practical problem. And it's also very interesting that if you look at a lot of investment textbooks today, either you have things that are written by practitioners who really don't want to give their secret sauces away. So it's like, it's very difficult for a student to even understand exactly what they're trying to say. Or you have traditional academics who spend pages and pages talking about things like risk aversion. It's either it's very practical, but people don't really want to talk about, or is very interesting, precise, and detailed, but it doesn't actually describe how the real world actually works.